Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome at the webinar of Advantage Austria Tokyo. We want to welcome you here at Advantage Austria. We are here in our meeting room in Tokyo at Advantage Austria Tokyo. And we want to talk today about loans and subsidies for small and medium enterprises here in Japan. And this means of course, subsidies which have been recently introduced during the last days and weeks because of the known problems that we all face today, but also about some other subsidies which have been in place already, and which maybe also some of our companies, of our Austrian daughter companies, can take advantage of here, which all small and medium-sized companies in Japan can take advantage of. After my introduction, I will give the word to Ms. Miho Tanaka, who is here sitting next to me already. Hello, Miho. Miho is an expert for such subsidies and loans. She has been helping many companies already in obtaining such loans and such subsidies. She has been working for a few years with the Tokyo metropolitan government, working exactly in this in this field, and so she can assist all of you in getting such loans and subsidies and grants. For you, ladies and gentlemen, to get to know our software a bit, I would like to ask you first two questions. One which should be on your screen in a second, which I would ask you to kindly answer, so that we see that that everything is working well. My company is a subsidiary of an Austrian company or an importer of Austrian goods and services, an exporter or service provider to Austria. Please tell us if you have some other relation to Austria or you have no relation to Austria at all, just happen to be here with us. I can see a few of you are answering already. Maybe some others have not found the right button yet. It depends on your operating system which you use, but I think a few more answers are coming in. So let us see what we have. So most of our attendants work at subsidiaries of Austrian companies or are importers of Austrian goods and services or have some other relation with Austria to Austria. We are very glad to hear that. So let me ask you our second questions, which should be here in a minute. Please tell us if you are comfortable to communicate in Japanese, in English, or in both. Our webinar will be mainly in English today, but of course you will get all the material also in Japanese. Some of the material is only in Japanese, and your questions can be posed both in English or in Japanese. Okay, so I think it's pretty even, it seems. Some more answers coming in. 1/3 Japanese, 1/3 English, 1/3 both. So without further ado, I would like to hand over to Ms. Miho Tanaka. So please, Miho.
Thank you very much for joining today's webinar, and also thank you all the Advantage Austria team for having me here. So let's start. And I'll talk about loan and subsidies and grants as Ingo-san introduced. Yes. So let me introduce myself first. So I'm Miho Tanaka, and I've been working with Tokyo metropolitan government for the previous 2 years. And my main role was the operation of the center called Tokyo One-Stop Business Establishment Center, which was co-established by the government of Japan and Tokyo government. And through the center operation, I was helping all the company registration process and also visa procedures, and for all the entrepreneurs trying to start a business in Tokyo. And now I started my own business for startups and entrepreneurs also trying to start a business in Japan. And my clients are mostly international entrepreneurs trying to get some legal advice and who wants to guide how to start their business in Japan. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to agenda. So I'll talk about the basics of subsidy and grant and loan first. Then the next one is loan guarantees for overcoming especially this COVID-19 damages. And I'll talk about the main players who provide the loan and who actually work right under the government. And also I'll talk about what's actually happening under these conditions. Then third topic is loans by public financial institutions and also private banks. And what's the purpose of each institutions and also the relationship among JFG, JFC, and credit unions. These are all the main players to provide loan programs for SMEs in Japan. And then I'll move to the employment-related grants and loans. Then move to Q&A session. So let's start with the basics of subsidy, grant, and loan. And subsidy, and I will try to introduce some important words in Japanese, but mostly I will present in English. And subsidy is in Japanese called hojokin, and this is usually provided by Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. So Keizai Sangyo Sho is the one usually providing these subsidies. And subsidy always requires examination process by subsidy office. So basically it's the free money for entrepreneurs and also business owners. But we need to keep in mind that they will examine us and they will inspect our business plans. And the important thing about subsidy is we need to spend all the expenses first. Then we need to get the payment back later, about a year later. So we need to have enough cash to actually pay all the expenses. And the next one is grant. It's called joseikin in Japanese. And grant is usually offered by Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, Kousei Roudou. And grants is, unlike subsidies, grants is the money that everybody can actually get as long as they fulfill all the criteria. And companies can get these grants until the budget runs out. So it's better to apply for it ASAP. Then the third one is loan program. As you all know, this one is to improve our cash flow, and we need to repay everything after we take out loans. So the first subsidy and grants are the free money, but loans is something that we need to pay back. So let's move to the detail of subsidies. So as I mentioned, it will have examination process, so we need to be prepared for that. And we also need to spend all expense first, then get payment back later. And please look at the right graph. So for example, most of the application period for subsidy starts in April, and also they have second application period in September. Then we need to submit all the applications, mainly online right now. Then as soon as we finish submitting all the application, they will, can anybody, is it the voice clear? Okay, so the subsidy office starts inspection period. Then after 1 month or 2 months, they will give us the result after they finish the examination process. Then after the result, we can finally start spending the expense to grow the business. And we need to be careful that expense spent before getting the result from the subsidy office is not really covered. So like we have to be careful that we need to get the result, then start spending everything. And we need to also write a report to receive subsidy. So we need to send all invoices and estimation and receipts to subsidy office. Then the applicants actually can get subsidy from the subsidy office. So we need to keep track on all the records of subsidy. So that's really important to get subsidy. And also, like subsidy office sometimes ask the applicants to keep the record for the next 3 years or 5 years. So we need to carefully read the guideline that subsidy offices provide. Okay, then let's move to the grants. Then grants is usually given by Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare. And as long as criteria is fulfilled, then companies can get grants until the budget runs out. And the purpose of grant is usually employment purpose. So most of the applicants get grants in order to increase the ratio of regular employees. So in Japan right now, I think 37% are working as a contract employee, like not the regular employee or as a like part-timers. So Japanese government is trying to push all the companies or SMEs to actually increase the ratio of regular employee. And then the flow is like first we have to create an employment plan for the next few years to actually upgrade the status of the employee to the regular employee. Then after that, we need to change their employment status, and also we need to create employment rules, because in Japan many people tend to do overwork, and Japanese government also wants to stop it. So we need to create a rule for the employees. Then after we build some result for 6 months, then we submit all the paycheck record as well as like how long hours they actually worked. Then with the report, we can receive the grants. Then loans. So loans is to improve cash flow, and also repayment is always needed with interest. And most of Japanese, like the loan programs that Japanese government provides is, I think, around like 7 years long. So for example, let's say we wanna take out a loan this year, 2020, then we will submit application form. And we also need to submit financial statements for the past few years. And also we need to like show tax record that we are actually properly paying the tax. And usually it has grace period, in Japanese, 据え置き期間. So during this time, usually it's 1 year, because most of the SME don't have enough cash to actually pay back everything. So during this grace period, SMEs can only like pay back the interest rate, and they don't really need to like start repaying everything. And after the 1 year grace period, usually SME starts the repayment for all the amounts that they took out from like loan providers. Then they need to also pay interest rate. Then like within 7 years, or sometimes like 10 years, 15 years, they finish all the repayment process. So this is the basic of subsidy, loan, and also grants. So let's move on to the loan guarantees for overcoming this COVID-19 damages. So these two main players are the ones trying to help SMEs right now. So first one is the blue logo, Japan Federation of Credit Guarantee Corporations. It's called JFG, in Japanese, 信用保証協会. And this organization doesn't really provide like funds directly to the borrowers, but it works as a guarantor for SMEs and repayment to financial institutions on behalf of the borrowers. Means like, so if the SMEs go bankrupt, then this organization JFG repay all the loans back to the financial institutions. And in Japanese it's usually called daibensai. And this one is like the public institutions, not the private institutions. So they work as a guarantor to actually serve the community for SMEs. And they usually guarantee 80% of the loan. So 20% goes to private, like financial institutions, and they cover 80% of guarantee. So if a SME goes bankrupt, then like they will repay 80% of the like total amount of the loan. Then the second player is Japan Finance Corporation with green logo. It's usually called JFC, and in Japanese, Nihon Seisaku Kinyu Koko. And this is the biggest public financial institutions in Japan, and their role is supplement service for SMEs, because most of the mega banks or private banks look for some large corporation that can pay back well. So JFC usually helps SMEs or small business owners. And the number is like 50% of the borrowers actually takes out about 5 million yen. So, and also like 94% of the borrowers takes out 30 million yen. So it's not too big amount. So in euro, like the 5 million yen is about 40,000 euro. And also like 30 million yen is about 250,000 euro. So these are the major amount, like popular amount that people takes out from JFC. And under this COVID-19, Japanese government decided to provide 56 trillion yen for financial management for SMEs and also individuals. And they've already decided to provide 1.6 trillion yen for specifically loan programs. And also the target applicants for this special financial support are those experienced the decline of sales. And the number is sales for the most recent 3 months decreased by more than 5%. And if the sales of SMEs dropped by 20%, the government provides full support. So let's talk about the loan by public financial institutions and also private banks. So first, public financial institutions is usually providing long-term investment or installing equipment. So for example, if we want to get a loan to get software, then we can go for public financial institutions to take out a loan. And also deposit. In Japan, we need shikikin. When we want to get an office, we need to pay 6 months or 12 months of office rent in advance. And it's a huge money. So also public financial institution helps that. And also, we can also get PC or equipment, which will be depreciated for the next few years. And we need to be careful. These are all for long-term investment and also installing equipment. So usually, some working capital like HL costs, like payroll, paychecks, marketing costs, and some office rents that we need to pay monthly are not included. And JFC, Japan Finance Corporation, has 2 divisions. One is for division for SMEs, then the other is a division for small business owners. And in Japanese, it's called Chūshō Kigyo Jigyo for the SMEs one. And the second one is Kokumin Seikatsu Jigyo. And the amount that they usually provide is per division for SMEs, it's about 100 million yen loan for 1 billion sales company. So it's SME, but the sales is quite big. And division for small business owners usually provide loan for small SMEs. Okay, so SMEs, small and medium enterprises. Sorry.
How big?
It's they have some definitions based on the capital, the amount of capital, and also the number of employees. And for example, if it's like retailers, like kourigyo, then the definition of SME is usually the capital amount is less than 50 million yen, or the number of employees in the company is less than 50 members. If it's like wholesalers, the capital amount is usually less than 100 million yen, and also the number of the employee is less than 100. So yeah, there are some criteria that government officially provides. So yes, yeah, I can like provide some information about that. Yes. Then also private funds is for relatively short-term investment, and the interest rate is higher compared to public financial institutions. And they also provide loan for working capital, for example, HR cost or office rents or stock, shire, or also outsourcing fee that we need to pay monthly. And they sometimes collaborate with venture capital, so they have tons of cash, but they also target like big clients. So this is a main distinction of these financial institutions. And let's move to the purpose of each institutions. So the left one, first one is public institution, public financial institutions. And this one is organized by government. So actually government controls everything, including all the budget and everything. And this one usually helps the loan for long-term investment or installation of equipment. And the main player among all the public financial institutions is JFC, and it's providing loans for about 300,000 business owners annually. But under this corona situation, it seems like already like 200,000 like business owners ask for help. Yeah. Then let's talk about the banks first. So the right side, banks is a stock company, 株式会社, and their purpose is always maximizing the profit for shareholders. So their purpose is really like profit. So, and credit union, 信用金庫 is something in the middle. And this one is organized by non-profit organizations, and their role is to serving local economies. And the members of credit unions is the residents or business owners in a certain area So, for example, if I'm living in like Kyoto, but if I wanna like register for like Tokyo Credit Union, it's not really possible. And also the purpose of credit union is maximizing the benefit for the members. So they also work differently from banks. Yeah. Then this is the image how it works. So the relationship among JFG, 信用保証協会, and JFC, Japan Finance Corporation Credit Unions. So JFC has a consultation desks. So if you wanna take out a loan, you can head one of the desks. Then you can ask for help. And if they decide to actually provide a loan, then they just directly give that to applicants. But JFC is, as I mentioned, a guarantor. So actually, the applicant takes out a loan from credit unions. So credit unions the fund, then JFC guarantees about 80% of the all the loans. So yeah, then let's move to the employment-related grants and loans. And especially under this COVID-19, Japanese government started to provide grant for employers offering the staff to take care of kids because all the schools closed. And they also provided grant for improving employment environment. And also the major one is grant for teleworking because everybody started to work from home. Also, there are special loans, one is safety net loan with 100% guarantee, and also loans for employees working for SMEs. And I put links to all the like grant and loans. So like if you need more details, you can access to the file, then you can get more details. And the first one, 小学校休業等対応助成金, is the special one under these circumstances. And through this grant program, applicants is the employers, like not employees, and they can get 8,330 yen per day and per paid leave, because in Japan usually people have 10 days of paid leave, but under this circumstance they need to like leave the office because there are less customers and so on. So Japanese government helps it. And applicants for this grant is the employers asking the employees to get paid leave aside from the annual paid leave. And the period that they get the paid leave is between January 21st and also July 23rd, sorry. And also application period is from March 18th to June 30th, so we still have time. And the criteria for this fund is that the employees took paid leave because of the closure of schools under COVID-19 controls. And the second one, the grant for improving employment environment. Yeah, and this one, the last one, the 小学校休業等対応助成金, this one, yeah, it still says it's only for 小学校, but Japanese government is changing the criteria so often lately, so I think they might change the criteria soon. Yeah. And also grant for improving employment environment is for actually employers, because the last one, the 8,000 yen like paid leave, this money is like directly going to the employees, and actually the company cannot get anything out of it. So Japanese government is trying to give the incentive with this one. So as long as the applicants can fulfill the criteria for the first grant, for 小学校one, then they can actually get this grant. And it's usually 100,000 yen per SMEs. And the application period is like just started last Friday, and it will like continue until June 30th. So we have time. So as long as the companies fulfill the criteria for the first one, that should apply for this one as well. And the employers have already, like the employers must have already registered employment insurance. So they, like 雇用保険 is the one that they have to like have right now. So some of the SMEs or startups tend to like hire contractors. In that case, sometimes they don't have like employment insurance yet, so they are not eligible to apply for this one. Yep. And the next one is a grant for teleworking. And this one, through this fund, the SMEs can get up to 1 million yen to get like telework tools, for example, like laptops or some monitors or iPod or iPhone. And the coverage is 50%. And so like if we spend 2 million, then we can get back 1 million after. And applicants or SMEs promoting teleworking between like February 17th and until May 31st. And the application period started from like recently. So yeah, we can apply until May 29th. And also the criteria is SMEs submitting the application form by May 29th to Minister of Health, Labor and Welfare. And it seems like there is several teleworking like grant in Japan right now, and this is the major one. But also it seems like there are also a teleworking grant that provides 2.5 million yen. So yeah, we need to take a look. And also, like, I'm sure Japanese government will provide more information later, probably like this week or next week. So let's keep the, yeah, let's look for the latest information. And then I will move to the loan program. Then this one is Safety Net Loan by Japan Federation of Credit Guarantee Corporation by JFG. And usually, like, all the SMEs need to go some inspection period, like process, to get 80% guarantee. But under these circumstances, if the sales for the most recent 3 months decrease by more than 5%, all the SMEs can get this like 80% guarantee. And if we don't know about the like sales result in April, we can just submit the estimation. Then we can also apply for this one. And there is special 100% guarantee one. And this is this is for the company whose sales for the most recent 3 months decreased by more than 20%. And this one has a special criteria. And the SME needs to operate a business for over a year in the same area. And also the most recent sales, for example, right now, March, is decreased by 20% compared to March 2019, so last year. And also, like, we need to think of the sales, like, compared to the last year. So the upcoming 2 months will be most likely decreased by 20% compared to April and May 2019. So this is the criteria. Sorry. Yeah, the last one is the loan for employees working for SMEs, because most of the employees need also like income. And this loan is specifically for employees, so in government. And this one is provided by Tokyo Metropolitan Government, but I'm sure that some of the other cities or municipality also provides loan for this kind of like criteria. And in Tokyo government provides up to 1 million yen with 5 years repayment period. And application period is started from last Friday. And the applicants are as follows. They have to work for the same SME for the past 6 months and living in the current address for the past 3 months. And the SME needs to be based in either Tokyo or the residential address must be in Tokyo. And the annual wage is less than 88 million, like including the tax. And also we have to show that if we want to get this loan, we need to submit a record that we pay residential tax every year. And also repayment is feasible. And the purpose of this loan is for living. So it's not for like buying like stocks or anything. It's for living. Yeah. Okay. Then what's coming next? So on March 28th, so last Saturday, Prime Minister Abe decided to provide employment adjustment grant for SMEs that do not fire any employees for up to 90%. So, and this one is for SMEs, and for large corporation, they support up to 75%. And this one is not only for regular employees, but also regardless of the employment style, they provide this one for even part-timers. And also, even if SME needs to lay off some employee, the government is planning to support 80% of the payment. And for large corporation, they support about 60%. In addition, Prime Minister Abe also decided to provide no-interest loan programs through private financial institutions. So before, like we always needed to like go to like JFC or like JFG to get the lowest loan program, like with the lowest interest rate. But now they provide like also loan programs through financial institutions, like in private one. So we have more access to get fund right now. But also the call telephone line is very busy. So yeah, but it's better to get information and prepare for it. And yeah, these are something that is related to COVID. And also, right now it's actually subsidy time. So subsidy period just started like a few weeks ago. And these are the main subsidies or grant programs that Japanese government or like some municipality provides. And I put all the links here. So if you are interested in, please access to the link. Some of them have English website as like, or since most of the informations are written in only in Japanese, I'm trying to provide the information in English in my blog. So please like take a look if you have time. And then further information is like, yeah, Dominic-san provided this information for all of you. So please take a look. And yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Miho Tanaka-san. This was really an excellent overview. Thanks so much. I learned a lot here, and I think many of our audience, of our guests here, learned quite something as well. We have had a number of questions already here. I think we've also received 1 or 2 questions via email. So I would like to hand over now to Dominic so that he can answer these questions, or ask Miho Tanaka-san to answer these. I would also like to stress here once again that Miho Tanaka, of course, is here to assist you, not here at Advantage Austria. This is our job here in helping you in many things, but we will not be able to help you in detail with the grants and subsidies. But this is something that Tanaka-san can do for you. You will get now again all her data, and you can contact her either directly or via us, and she can help you, our Austrian companies and companies who do business with Austria. She can help you in applying for such subsidies, and also in giving you advice on what to do in this really very difficult situation that many of us are in now. But now let me ask Dominik Vranešec, our Senior Commercial Officer here at Advantage Austria, to take over the question and answers. Please.
Hello and good evening also from my side. Thank you, Ingoma, for the introduction, and thank you, Miho-san, for the detailed presentation. So my name is Dominic. I'm a commercial officer at Advantage Austria, primarily responsible for FDI and trades. And in more detail, I am in charge of dealing with inquiries on regulatory measures here in Japan. If you have any questions, I will say it here in advance as well. Feel free to reach out to me in English, in German, or in Japanese. I can speak Japanese as well. 皆さんこんにちは。オーストリア大使館商務部のドミニクと申します。もし質問がありましたら、ぜひ日本語でも対応できますので、ご連絡ください。So I will explain a little bit on those questions that Ingoma already mentioned that we received in advance. So the first question that we received was an English question. This person asked us about what are subsidies in Austria? What about subsidies in Austria? Where can I get information? So information, you can get detailed information on www.wko.at/corona. There is a detailed overview on all subsidies and loans that you can get from the Austrian side as well. So the second question that I received in advance was a Japanese question. So I will explain the question in Japanese and also in English. So it was actually about grants for telework support. 厚生労働省が出している 新型コロナウイルス感染症対策のためのテレワークコースというチラシがあると思いますので、そこに申請の締め切りが書かれてないっていう質問だったんですけれども、そうするとその質問がいただいた方はその締め切りがもう完全に終わってしまっているので、今でも申請できるんでしょうかっていう質問だったんですけれども、そうするとですね、ネット情報によりますと、その厚生労働省が出している情報によりますとですね、その新年度にも再開する予定らしいので、新しい締め切りは5月の29日となるっていうことです。So, question was about the telework support that the Ministry for Health, Labor and Welfare has posted on its website, which said that the application deadline was the 13th of March. So the question was if it's still possible to file an application for this kind of support, and the answer is yes, it is possible, because the fiscal year is about to change, and the ministry updated the information, and the new application deadline is the 31st of May. So on a side note here, additional information also about this program, which was really interesting, so that some conditions are actually quite interesting. For example, the actual device, so the computer, the smartphone, or the tablet computer is not going to be covered by this support program. So if you need to install new software or to make any other purchases in order to implement telework in your office, this is going to be covered, but not the device itself. 日本語ですね。その新型コロナウイルス感染症対策のためのテレワークコースに関する情報なんですけれども、いくつか要件がありまして、例えばですね、その端末、パソコン、タブレット、あるいはスマホの購入費は対象になりませんっていう情報なので、それにご注意ください。And the third question that we received was about the 雇用調整助成金, so the employment adjustment subsidies for short-time work and so on. And the question was, how long can the period that the employee is spending at home be? So the answer to that question is that the maximum period is 100 days within 1 year. And this period has to be between the 24th of January and the 23rd of July for this year. So if the employee stays at home within this period of time, then you can apply for support. 日本語ですね、雇用調整助成金に関する質問だったんですけれども、その休業の初日はいつからいつまでなんでしょうかっていうことだったんですけれども、答えはですね、その休業の初日が、今年令和2年の1月23日から、7月の23日までです。でその間に正社員が休むことになるとですね、そういった調整助成金に申請することができます。はい。So, as far as the questions that we received in advance go,
2 questions here.
I've seen we received 2 additional questions.
How about subsidy for retired employees still working as a consultant?
Yeah, so I think as long as they're considered as like labor or employees, then or part-timers, I think they're eligible to get that one. And my concern is some of them are working as a solo proprietor. The solo proprietor itself is considered as like legal entity. So in that case, they might be able to apply for like loan program instead of getting grants from government. But as long as they fulfill the criteria that government provides, then they should be able to like get that one. Because the Kosei Roudosho is very supportive for like the retired employees, so I'm sure they will help.
The other question, where exactly do we apply for the 90% coverage of salaries for those employees who cannot work over the coming weeks and months?
Yeah, so this one was just decided like 2 days ago. So I think government still haven't had specific consultation desks or office yet. But I think they're trying to set up everything by early April. And I think most of the subsidies and grant programs is trying to have online application instead of all the employees in paperwork. So I think, and I'm sure that they will accept applications through either mail or just online applications through website.
Thank you very much. Can you please explain again how the employment adjustment grant works? Is this also applicable if the employee keeps working on hugely reduced time, reduced salary, also applicable to larger companies?
So I saw there are some criteria. So if they're still working for half days or something, sometimes they're not applicable to get. So I think it's under this criteria that government provides right now. I think it's easier to just provide them 1 day off instead of asking them to work 4 hours per day or something, then get the 8,000 yen per day. Also for larger companies, yes, I think it's applicable, but I will double check.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, no more.
I will hand over
No more questions. So let me come in again. Thank you very much, Dominic. Are there any more questions from our audience? So I think we've had quite a lot of information here. Thank you very much, Tanaka-san. Let me repeat that Miho's job is exactly to do that, to help you, not only startups, of course also startups, but to help you with your companies here in Japan to apply for such grants, to apply for subsidies, to give you consultancy services on exactly these questions. You have here her email address, her LinkedIn, her blog. You can contact Miho-san anytime, also through us if you prefer. So I would like to thank you here once again for all these explanations, which I hope have been very helpful to all of us. Now, let me tell you also that we have, at least we have tried to make a copy of this webinar. Let's see if it worked, if the recording worked well. We will post it then to all of you who have told us who they are, because everybody could participate here without giving his details, just as guest. So if you have not done so, please give us a short email at tokyo@advantageaustria.org, or for those of you who speak German, tokyo@wko.at, Wirtschaftskammer Österreich. That may be easier for those of you at least who speak German, because it's a very short URL. So please just let us know who you are, so that we can send you a copy of this, our recording, and also of the slides which have been used here. This is the office of Advantage Austria. But we have had a few questions here. So what is ABC? What is the Austrian Business Council? So let me talk just a few words also about the Austrian Business Council. The Austrian Business Council is sort of the association of companies and of entrepreneurs who do business with Austria. So the Secretariat of the Austrian Business Council is also located here with us at Advantage Austria, but it is a different legal entity. But of course, many of the members who are here today and who have listened to us are members of the Austrian Business Council. And if you are not yet, I would like to encourage you to become member of the Austrian Business Council. We have during the year a number of networking opportunities, maybe not exactly in these days, at least not presential, but online, maybe like here. But we do a lot of networking. We have information, and well, we promote in general friendship between the ABC members. This is both Austrian and Japanese companies with business in the other country. And well, here are our details again of Advantage Austria Tokyo. We are here in Tokyo for you, for all Austrian, all representatives of Austrian companies, but of course also for our Japanese friends who want to do more or better business with Austria. We are here to help you, to assist you, and our office hours are just regular as always. We try to be present here at the office, and should some days this be more difficult, then of course you will be able to contact us through digital means, maybe just in the same way as we did here today. You find our email address here, our website. We have Twitter accounts, we have Facebook accounts, so there are many opportunities to get in contact with us. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everybody for being with us this afternoon, especially once again Miho Tanaka-san. Thank you for your explanation, and I hope that we all will go through this very difficult time as quickly as possible, and yeah, of course, all of us safe. Thank you very much, and yeah, good luck to everybody.